So today we are going to see some of the miscellaneous topics in Azure Data Factory. You can quickly go to launch our Azure Data Factory pipeline, and you might have practiced about parameters, right? So we already discussed the parameters, how we can make the parameters, the use of parameters to make the pipeline dynamic. Okay, so in a three ways we are making the parameters. Okay, in a real-time scenario. So how parameter works is parameters. Parameter work by making something which is there are two options of for parameters. First option is we are trying to make a dynamic input. Okay, and second option is we can give some input. Okay, some values behind the parameter. For example, you have seen that you have done a parameterization for dataset. You have done a parameterization for pipeline. And third option is we can also do it for link services. But link services is, is used when you have a different data sources. The type of source will be different. Okay. So for pipeline to be parameterized, what is the benefit of doing this? It is giving a reusable functionality to us. Okay, so if I want to reuse one pipeline, okay, this is what we have, done in a previous sessions, that if we have a pipeline, let's say I'm having a pipeline, okay, and this pipeline I am using for extracting the sales data, okay, and I'm having some since this sales data is available in my input container, which is of type ADLS Gen. Making sense? So we have an input container. Within that input container, sales data.csv is available. Now I want to use a pipeline and I want to, move this data, copy the data from this input container to SQL database, SQL DB. So in SQL DB, I'm already having a table known as sales table. So we have used this pipeline. Now, if we have number of tables or number of, CSV files, don't you think it is very bad design if we are, if I'm having 1,000 files to be uploaded, different kind of files to be uploaded in any project. So I need to create 1,000 pipelines. So it is not a worth, right? So what we have seen that we can parameterize these pipelines, and the one pipeline can easily used for, or you can say reused for moving the data of 1,000 files into 1,000 different tables. So no more development is required. And how we can achieve that? We can achieve that with the help of dataset parameter and pipeline parameter. Okay, this is what we have done. So parameter is something which can be made. Why we are making parameters? We are making parameter to encourage the reusability, right? We are encouraging the reusability, and we are also giving a dynamic values, okay, to the data set, to the pipeline, so that, for example, if one this pipeline is working, right, this pipeline is having a data set, and this data set is only knowing this data, sales data. We have so many data. We have employee data as well, right? Employee data as well. We have vendor data as well. Okay. We have some utility data is also there, right? Utility data. Okay. Or we have expense data as well. We have tax data as well. There are so many data. But my pipeline which I made is only knowing about sales data, because inside pipeline we have a data set. Okay, and this data set is pointed to sales data. If I make this data set parameterized, then the value of parameter, if I'm giving sales data, it will only point to sales data. The value of this parameter, if I provide employee data, it will only switch to employee data. Similarly, if I am having a sync data set, you have seen, right? In sync data set, if this is also again a parameter kind of data set, parameterized data set. So we have a source data set, we have a sync data set, right? So the concept is, in a source data set, if it is parameterized and at the runtime of a pipeline, if we supply the value of sales data, it will only use sales data as a source. Now, for this sync data set, again, if the same sales data is I feed, right, it will only refer to the sales data table. Similarly, now using this functionality, one pipeline can be used multiple times for multiple number of files and multiple number of tables. So that is the concept of parameterization that we have seen in the past. Now, why I'm telling you this again? Because now we are trying to learn a different concept of variables. Okay, what do you mean by variables? So we have very slight difference between parameter and variable. Okay, we have a difference between parameter and variable, but if you see, both are looking a similar kind of thing. The only purpose of parameter is it will work, okay, on the trigger. For example, if you run the pipeline, if you have created a parameter and if you are running the pipeline will accept the values for those parameter. So this parameter will be applicable to entire pipeline. Okay, so it is useful. Whatever, for example, you have created the file name as a parameter, right? This is what you are doing, and you have created table name as a parameter, and file name parameter you have used in source data, and table name parameter you have used in sync data, right? So while execution of this pipeline, these parameter you need to supply, right? And what is the difference between parameter and variable? Variable is not like this. Variable has to perform any activity uh, within the copy activity, within the internally. So we can say variable is a internal reusable parameter, you can say like this. Okay, for example, I'm telling you why. uh, just for an example, how to define a variable. So you have a file name, okay, and the file name is sales data, the same example. The another file name is employee data, okay. Third file name is your you can say vendor data, okay. Now what you want to do, you want to create a variable, and that using that variable you want to do any copy activity. Okay, so for example, the variable means the type, data type. Have, imagine you have created a variable known as data type, and data type is basically, if it is a sales data, okay, I need to calculate the text according to the sales rate, right? So we have different tax rates available in the system. Okay, and if data type is employee data, we have to again calculate the tax related to some income slab. If we have vendor data, we have to calculate the tax in a different manner. So right now what it is doing, variable means the value can be changed again and again, but parameter value would not be changed throughout the trigger cycle, throughout the pipeline execution. So when I will show you an example, then it will be more clear what I'm trying to say. Okay, so for example, I'm going to create a first pipeline. But before going to this, I just want to walk you through what we need to cover. So you can see in a general tab. So if you have gone through move and transform, you already know about copy activity. You have done so many exercises. Data flow is already completed. Okay, but if there is any pending item, I will give you assignments and you would be able to do that. and we will resolve the queries. Now we can go to general tab. So in general tab you can see these all nodes are there, like we have append variable, we have delete node, execute pipeline, correct? So for example, if you have two pipelines created, you can use execute pipeline. Get metadata we have already used, fail, lookup, stored procedure, script, set variables, validation, web. So we are going to use all these things. In iteration and conditionals, we have used for each, so we can also use if condition, switch, and until condition, all these things. Okay, so we are almost on a good track of doing all these things. So now I need to deal with the append variable or set variable. Okay, we have two things related to variables, so that we are going to discuss now. Now, if I talked about the scenario, let's talk about a scenario here. So what I'm trying to do. So imagine I am having a sales, okay, sales for region 1. Okay, let me show you some files which I have made. So I'm having three files actually: region 1 underscore sales, region 2 underscore sales, region 3 underscore sales. So what does it mean? So it means that I am having a sales data for one region, okay, sales data for region 2, sales data for region 3, something like that. Okay, so, and I want to execute the pipeline, and I want to, decide which region has to go. Okay. So let me explain in this manner. Okay. Okay. So immediately what I'm going to do is, so first of all, what are the different types of variables? So you understood about the concept of variable. I am repeating once again. Variable is nothing, but it is a internal to the pipeline, first of all. Okay. So why variable is used? Variable is used for internal calculation, internal logic, or whatever you want to do internally, right? What is parameter? Parameter is nothing, but it can help you in execution of the pipeline. Okay. This is not related to internal. So this is the difference number one. What is the next difference? Next difference is parameter will not change throughout the execution of the pipeline. Okay, but variable can be changed throughout within the execution of the pipeline. For example, I'm telling you, I'm having three sales like region 1 underscore sales. Okay, then we have region 2 underscore sales. Okay, and we have region 3 underscore sales. Okay, we have three sets of data. Now, what is happening in my SQL database? Okay, in my SQL database, we have three tables actually. Okay, S underscore region 1 means the table sales data for region 1 table, right? Similarly, we have three tables. Fine. Now, if I want to use a copy activity, okay, and I don't want to, execute this pipeline three times, right? I don't want to execute the pipeline three times. I want to execute at one time, but from the name of the file, it should decide. This file will go to s underscore region 1. This file will go to s underscore region 2. This file will go to s underscore region 3. Correct? But execution should be only one time. So how we can do this? We can do this with the help of both parameter and variable together. Okay, and this I can help you with this kind of case study. Okay, so imagine I am having so now I'm talking about variables. So variable is of three types. First of all, it is of type string, it is of type bool means boolean, and it is of type array. Okay, now what is the meaning of this? The meaning is, if you're creating a variable in mathematics, you guys creates a variable like x, right? If you have x square plus 2, or you can say you have a simple variable 2x plus 4, right? This is the equation in mathematics. So if x value is 0, what is the value of this equation? This will become 4. So if x value is 1, what is the value of this equation? This become 6. So it means your x can be changed. That's why it is known as variable. Okay. So in the same way, but x is only taking 0, 1, means x is only taking integers here right now. Right. It can take decimals also. Right. It depends on you. So this is the limitation of x. In a similar way, in our system, the variables we can supply integers, sorry, not integers, string. We can supply bool. Bool is nothing but boolean, true or false. If condition is yes or true, correct. An array is nothing but collection of anything like string or numbers or separated by comma. This is known as array. Okay, so we will discuss all the three kinds of variables in our coming sessions and how we can use it. Okay, now I hope you would be more clear with the concept which I'm trying to make you understand. Now let's go and create something. So I am just using, I'm hiding the properties here. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to first of all we have no activity here, so we have two options, parameter and variables. So let's create a parameter. Okay, because I'm having three files. Okay, so my parameter could be changing. No, so I'm just creating file name, okay, as a parameter, and it is a string. Definitely it's a string combination of your alphabets and numbers, so it's a string, so I'm making it string. I'm not giving any value right now. Okay, or let's give a value just for an example. Okay, because I'm not creating any copy activity. Okay, so I'm giving values region under one underscore sales. Let's see, this is the value I'm having right now. Okay, because I'm not taking any get metadata activity. Okay, I can take the get metadata activity and then use the variable, because get metadata activity will give all the three names. So instead of making a very complex case study, let's start with the simpler one. Okay, so I have created a parameter with the name of file name, and the type of this parameter is a string, and the value I just supply region 1. Okay, if you use get metadata activity, you can have the this parameter linked with that get metadata output, and you can have multiple inputs, but I'm not complicating that. We will see those complicated use cases in a later scenario. Okay, now I will go to variables and I will create a variable known as region. Okay, and what is the value again? So value I can just uh, we will decide later. This I'm keeping it blank. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on set variables. Okay, because I want to set the value of these variables. Okay, so I can, what I'm trying to do, I can set uh, region region variable. Okay, and why I'm setting the region variable? Because this will decide that this data will go to which table. Okay, in letter phase. Now I can go to setting. In setting, because I have created only one variable which is known as reasons, and we are trying to set the value of this variable because our parameter value is already set. Right, our parameter value is already set as region 1 underscore sales. Okay, and my variable which I created region is blank here, it's not set. Okay, so I just want to set this variable using here. I can go to setting. So I will only see the variable region because this is what I have created. Region is displayed here. I can give any region, like I can give region 1. This is the one option. I can give any value, but let's go in a dynamic way. It should pick up. So for example, I'm just trying to, I can give from, file name. So the value of this variable will become, what value will be copied here from parameter to 1. Okay, region 1 underscore sales, but I don't want region 1 underscore sales. I want region 1 only, right? So if you see, what is the value of my parameter? The value of my parameter is region 1 underscore sales. But in variable, I want in region variable, region 1 should be stored. Okay, and it should come dynamically. That means from this parameter value, I need to replace underscore sales. Am I making sense? If I replace underscore sales from this parameter, I will end it with region 1. Making sense? Okay, so how I can do this? Instead of selecting as it is, I will delete this once again. I will go to add dynamic content, and what I will do, I will use a function. If you go to function, we have some string function which is known as replace. If I click on replace, okay, or else what I can do, if I know the exact function, I can put at the rate replace here. Okay, and what I will do, the first string will be from where I am searching. Okay, so from where I am searching from here. I need to replace from parameter variables, right? So I will go to parameter, I will select file name because I need to replace from file name, and which entity I have to search? I have to search underscore sales, right? So I will use this underscore sales. So but underscore sales is a string, and you know, whenever you are giving any instruction for a string, you will use single quotes. Okay, so you will use single quotes, and what string I need to search? I need to search for underscore sales. But let me see if S is capital or small, that I don't know. Okay, but I believe it is okay. From here I would be able to do. So it's a capital S, okay? And this is the name. So from this name, I want to replace this underscore sales, and what I want to feed finally against this. So against this, I need blank values, nothing to feed. So I will just put comma, that's it. Two commas, comma, not comma, but single quotes. Two single quotes are there, right? So what it will do, it will replace underscore sales from the value of parameter. Okay. Now you can see. Now, now before proceeding, okay, let's see what variable it is set. So I can debug. So we have this region 1 underscore sales, which is hard coded value. But let's debug. It will give you what variable it is set. Okay. So it is successfully completed. Let's see. So name is region. The name of variable is region, and the value has come up like region 1. Okay. Fine. So this is the concept of using variables, and using this region variable, you can go for copy activity. Okay. And you can further proceed anything else. Okay. Am I making sense here? So this is all about setting up the variables. Okay. I can give you one more example, very interesting example. For example, now the another example which I want to give is, imagine that you have uh, something like daily sales. Okay, daily sales, something like that, monthly sales, okay, and something like that, yearly sales. This is the name of the file. So basically your parameter file name this time is what? Daily sales. And you need to, you know, create a variable, and this variable this time is not about region, but it's about frequency. If it is a daily load or monthly load or yearly load. Okay, so you can say that like this: load frequency. Got it? So there is a value, and using this load frequency, you have in SQL database, in SQL DB, you have, different types of tables. Like you have a separate table for daily sales, okay, and you have a separate table for monthly sales, like monthly table, and you have separate table for yearly sales, right? So this parameter is used to fetch the dynamic file name only, but it will not be used that this data will only go to this sales daily, this data will only go to here, or it will not meant for any further calculation. So for this reason we are using this variable here. Okay, now how we can do this? I can go to replace, sorry, I can go to setting. Inside this setting, this load frequency has automatically selected because we renamed this region. Okay, if you hit here, you can see that everything is you can rewrite also, but you can modify this as well. So we have a file name. Now this time, what is the file name? The file name is your daily sales. Okay, if you want to check once again the file name, you can hit on white canvas, go to parameter. So this is the file name you have given. So in this file name you need to replace this sales value with the blank, right, this time. So what I can do, I can go to this once again, and instead of underscore sales I will just remove this sales, and this will work because I'm replacing this sales with blank value. Okay, not space, it's a blank value. Okay, now I can debug this, and this is the data. I'm not using get metadata uh, to see the dynamic values because I have to load the data. Okay, now I can see load frequency. What value has coming? Value has come as daily sales. Okay, so am I making sense?